Hi, I'm Mitch Shoemaker, and today is day 70 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and celebrating myself. So, yay for day 70. So today I chose to celebrate overwhelm or being overwhelmed because I get overwhelmed a lot and quite easily. So, um, I don't necessarily like being overwhelmed, but overwhelm is usually one of my excuses for not doing things or accomplishing things because when I get overwhelmed, my brain just shuts down. It's like, okay, there's too much going on. We can't do anything today. And it shuts down, which I'm sure is a survival mechanism or technique, or there's some reason behind my brain doing that. I'm not entirely sure what it is. So I just know that it does that. But I think I've just been in a state of overwhelm or a high level of something or other that my body just responds that way. Um, like I said, I think I'm always running in the red or the yellow like it's normal. It isn't. So when anything happens, I automatically go into panic mode, or I automatically go like, shut down, overwhelm, we're shutting down, we're not doing anything. But I was thinking about it as celebrating overwhelm, that maybe when I feel overwhelmed, that's a time for me to ask for help, to be like, hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed with everything that's going on. I need a little bit of help. Somebody help me out here. This is, unexpected. This is too much. I need help. So I am learning to ask for help when I feel overwhelmed instead of just shutting down. I'm also learning to change my focus because I get overwhelmed when I look at the big picture, when I look at the whole mess, when I look at all the things that I have to do, which I do all the time. But if I can change my focus to today, or change my focus to what I can accomplish, um, or change my goal to something simpler, smaller, whatever, it becomes less overwhelming. For example, my kitchen that I'm in the process of attempting to clean. Because of my depression, I have not touched it for, I don't know, weeks, months. I was sick, all of those things. So it's just kind of like, okay. And everything is just piled up in there. And I'm like, I still want to touch it, don't want to deal with it because it's too much. And over the last week, I started doing that as a form of exercise, just spending 5 minutes. I'm just going to clean. And my 5 minutes has turned into like 15 to 20 minutes just because I start and I'm like, I got to finish this and this and that. And when I walk in my kitchen now, I look at the spots that are clean. I look at the part of my stove that's cleared off. I look at the countertop that's cleared off. I look at the amount of clean dishes that I have. I don't look at the rest of the mess in my kitchen. And then I smile and I'm proud of myself. And I'm like, yay, I did this. And the overwhelm doesn't get to me because I'm not looking at the rest of the mess. Or even if I see the rest of the mess, I'm like, I don't have to do that today. And I'm giving myself permission to not do this today. But I know that if I keep doing just my 10 to 15 minutes a day of cleaning, eventually my kitchen will all get cleaned. And then I can move on to other messes and things that I have to deal with. But I have to break it down into something that small and that simple. And at this point, I'm really grateful my perspective is changing or changed to look at what's completed instead of what's not, because that helps to stave off the overwhelm for me. Um, but no, that's not really celebrating being overwhelmed. That's how to deal with being overwhelmed. Because I have to deal with being overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is something that, like I said, it's one of those very sensitive settings in my brain that looks around like, there's too much going on. We're too tired. We're going back to sleep. There's too much going on. We're just shutting down. We're done for the day. Or there's too much going on. We're just going to run away and just, to some other little fantasy land in my head. So I have to be really grateful for the overwhelm because it is one of the reasons I have created all the stories that I have in my head. So now I have all of these stories that I can write. I just need to get rid of the overwhelm when it comes to like typing up all of my stories and putting them in a form that others can read and understand. But I am grateful that it has given me all of those story ideas, that it has allowed me to create my little fantasy world that I can run away into. I am learning I don't need to run away from things. It's better to face them. So I am learning a lot from being overwhelmed. And like I said, I've created a lot of stories in my head. And I'm sure that there was a reason at some point in my life that I needed to just run away. Then I was overwhelmed and I couldn't deal with things. And I wasn't taught how to deal with things. And I grew up in a world that was, all or nothing, basically. You had to do everything and you had to do it perfect or you couldn't do anything. That was, those were the rules. Those were the unspoken rules. Those were the unwritten rules. That was just how everybody responded to things. And if you did it wrong, then it was over. That was it. Your chance is gone. My biological dad was very, very much like that. If it didn't work out the way that he wanted to, then it's like, that's it. We're done. I would tell you how it was supposed to work out, or sometimes they would, but it's like, hey, you're not going to do that. So just a lot of, and so my mentality has been a lot of all or nothing. And if I can't do it all, then I can't do anything. And so I get overwhelmed with trying to do it all and trying to do perfect, and I just shut down because I just can't do everything. and that has become an excuse. That has become a default setting, very sensitive one. It's like, okay, it's too much, I can't do it, or I'm afraid I can't do it perfectly, so I'm just not going to do it at all. Not even going to try. That overwhelm button is just, it's like that shutdown button with overwhelm. It just takes over a lot. So I'm glad to know that it's there. I'm glad that I can recognize, I'm grateful that I can recognize it. I'm grateful that it's given me my stories so that I have something to write. And eventually, hopefully, to publish and share with other people. But I am grateful to be learning that I can focus on little tasks, that I don't have to do it all, and that when I focus on the little tasks and not all of it, I can do it. And the overwhelm button doesn't get pushed. The shutdown button doesn't go off. So it's okay. I guess the overwhelm alarm doesn't go off and the shutdown button doesn't get pushed. Something like that. Something that makes sense. I don't always make sense, hence the randomness in me. Anyway, so that is me and overwhelm for today, and just grateful that I'm learning ways that I can deal with it and that I can adjust my focus or ask for help so that it doesn't always have to be all or nothing, and I don't have to shut down every time I feel overwhelmed. So yay, that's today. If you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude. Find some fun ways to celebrate yourself and maybe do some writing.